All right, all right, all right. I think we're good to go ahead and start here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I'm not a professor, but you can call me Nap. And welcome on in. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. Hope everybody's staying warm, especially if you're in the mid, the south, or the east coast of the U.S. Because we are, oof, it's been rough. It has been rough. I mean, at least this past week for me or past since stream, because on Sunday when we last streamed, it was currently snowing and it was coming down. And since then, it's only gotten colder. And it's oof. The nice thing was that I could actually like work from home. I didn't have to go into work. Bad news though is that I had to got on when was it? That was Monday? Yeah, Monday. So the day after I went out to my car and tried to unbury it. It wasn't super buried, but like because of how the parking lot in my apartment was plowed, they did the classic thing where they like kind of just pushed the snow in front of the car. So I had this little mound in front of my car that I had to clear away. And then just also clear all the snow on top, like around, so I could walk to my car and like make it so that I could drive out properly, like without getting stuck on the ice or anything like that. Because that's the thing too. This wasn't like fluffy, powdery snow. Like the top inch of all this snow was basically ice. Like to the point where like there were some areas, like in areas where there had been like in the shade the whole time, that if I stood on it, I didn't break through. I didn't break through at all. I was able to stand on it. That's how like thick the ice was. So that made like an extra layer of just how difficult it was to like remove all of it and get out of the way. And I think, what did the temperature say it was outside? I think it said it was like 18 degrees or something like that outside. Um, yeah, I think it was like 18 degrees. Hey, Pirate, good to see you. Welcome on in. No, I didn't have to ice skate to work. Thankfully, they let us work from home the past few days. So we didn't have to, do any of that. And they kind of for tomorrow they said like you can come in if you want, but they're not like forcing anybody to. And personally, I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna do. We'll kind of see, because the thing that's been the worst is that like we've had all this snow and it's all like, because a lot of times when we have snow where I am, it's like snow and then like 2-3 days later, like it's either like entirely gone or like mostly gone, like partially melts or something like that. We've had crazy below freezing temperatures the past like all week, and so it's just all just still here. And it's just been a nightmare. And like I don't understand. And I'm from the West Coast. I'm born and raised West Coast, so I didn't have to deal with any of this growing up. And it really makes me wonder how people deal with living places where this is like a monthly occurrence. And in most of those places, they get even more snow than this. Like that just why would you live there? Why would you live somewhere like that? That just sounds awful to deal with. That's personally also why I'm not a winter person. This winter has 100% confirmed that I'm a summer guy. I love summer so much more. I don't care if it's hot. I can at least do stuff outside and not like, and the days are longer and like it's just not as depressing. Cuz snow, it's pretty for like the first like day or two. And then after that, it's like, okay, kind of over it. And then it starts to get just all like dirty, especially like if it's near like roads or like piled in like parking lots and stuff like that. It's just there. It's not at all worth it in my opinion, personally. But that's just me. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna pray that it gets warmer this next week, I hope, because I want some of this stuff to start melting because it's creating a nightmare to deal with. Because this is, I think, the worst winter I've had since being out here. I think this is the worst one. But, let's see. I think that's kind of, I mean, that's like the big update for me, just because like that's all that everyone's been thinking about and talking about here in the U.S. in terms of like, especially like on the East Coast. So it's just all about snow. But yeah, so hopefully that ends soon. And we'll see how it goes going to work tomorrow. Maybe I'll, spin out and crash. And if I don't stream ever again, that means I spun out and crashed and died. So you know what happened to me then. But yeah, I think oh, another thing. Not related to weather, moving on to a different thing. I just want to say thank you guys all so much for the support on the recent short that I put up on YouTube that has done really, really well. Like, it's still consistently getting... Because a lot of, like, times when you upload a short, it'll get a bunch of views for, like, the first day, and then it'll just stop. But this one has been, like, consistently, like, steadily... Since I uploaded it on... When was that? Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. Since I uploaded on Saturday, it's been just doing really, really well. And just consistently still getting views and stuff like that. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for the support on that. I will likely be making another YouTube short this week, specifically a YouTube short that's kind of like a YouTube trailer for the project that we're currently working on. Basically, because a lot of people I think on YouTube who follow me on YouTube don't know that I do this. So I kind of want to make a short that's kind of like, hey, I also, I'm working on this photograph, and if you want to see me do it, this is where, this is where you can find me. So that's the plan. That'll probably be up, Saturday or Sunday is the goal. It just depends on how busy I get this weekend and also kind of how the weather is, What else? I think that's pretty much it in terms of that stuff. Let's get into what we're going to be doing today. Let me go ahead and make myself smaller here. All right. So today, if you weren't here on Sunday, what we started doing was going over this. This is a photograph from 1888 of a birthday party for a girl named Eleanor Metcalf. And in this photograph, there's 24 people in total. You can see that they're all marked there with 1 through 24. Every single person is marked. And then on the back of this photograph, there is a list of full names of every single person in this photograph, which is honestly an incredible find when it comes to doing this type of research. And so that's what we're going to be doing today, and honestly probably for the next few months. Is each stream we're going to be going down this list and seeing what we can find about all these people. On Sunday's stream, what we did was I first made sure that we could find anybody in this photo and figure out where they were from, and we were able to figure it out actually very quickly. And so because of that, I then started going down this list and just doing a preliminary search, not doing any like detailed stuff or clicking on any census records or anything like that. Just a preliminary search to see if we could find any of the people in this photograph. Hey, Kazu, good to see ya. Saw your post on this photo. I was wondering how the hell did you find them? I know, yeah. It's crazy that's why I bought this at an antique store, just at a random antique store, and it just like I was like, and as soon as I saw the list on the back, I was like, oh, I have to do this. Not only do we have the list, but also the fact that like they're like marked too, that every single one of them is marked as well is crazy. Like, so that way I actually know which name goes with which face. But yeah, so the Sunday stream was just going over just to like quickly, just to make sure that like these people are in the historical record. And of the 24 people on that list, we were able to find records for 19 of them, which I think is a pretty good. That's a pretty good number considering this is from 1888. Like that's over 75%, so that's technically passing. But now what we're going to be doing going forward is before that research, that was just general preliminary search just to see if we could find anything about them historic record. Now we're going to be doing our normal detailed just kind of making sure, or just doing it like more detailed and actually learning about each individual person. The way you're not scared of looking at an old photo of kids dressed as white, it's giving ghosts. Oh no, this is, like, I will admit, like, I mean, I don't believe in ghosts, so, you know, that doesn't bother me. But I will admit that, like, this photo is objectively creepy. Just how it's, like, all faded and everything. And how, like, none of the kids are, like, smiling. This kid, like, moved, so you can't see, like, their face. Number 14 there. How they're all just staring into your soul, into the camera. When they took this picture in 1888, they had no idea that 140 years later, a bunch of people on the internet were going to be looking at them back. Yeah, the not smiling definitely doesn't help. But I mean, it's an 1888 photograph. People, like, because of how long it took for, like, the photo to develop, people didn't really smile back then. I mean, the kid, like, here, we can see how, like, she's all blurry and everything because she moved her head during the, like, photo process. Yeah, I'm not sure when smiling in photos became more common. I do know there's this one, like, I remember seeing it online. It was like this one photo, or no, it was a series of photos. It was like 2 to 3 photos that they had taken, like, back to back. And the first photo, it's like an older, like, kind of couple, like classic Victorian looking couple. And it's 3 photographs. They were each taken in succession. And the first photo is like the normal, like, serious, like normal, like, stare of, like, you know, an old Victorian photo. But then in the second one, the couple, like, they start to break. And then in the third one, they're, like, actually, like, smiling and laughing. And it was actually, like, really cute and just kind of, like, very much, like, you know, humanizes people, you know, back then. This doesn't humanize them. This makes me think that they're all gonna murder me in my sleep. Yeah, especially number 5. 5 right there is definitely thinking about killing us. 28 there, or 23 there, also isn't looking too happy. Or 22. And I didn't realize this, but you're kind of right. I think they are almost all wearing white. Yeah, that definitely adds to the creepy factor. And hey, what if it turns out, you know, when researching, it's like, I research every single person in this photo, and it's like, oh, they all died in a tragic accident, like, or something like that. Like, they, like, everybody, like, Final Destination style. Like, they all just, like, Some terrible curse just happened with everyone in this photo. But curses aside, we're still going to continue with this research. Specifically, we are going to be researching. We're going to be starting right at the top with number 1, right there. You can kind of barely see his head peeking in between the two people in front of him. So number 1, according to the back here. Going to the back here, it actually was like cut off on the list here. There's this little like tear in the back, but thankfully, because the bottom, the number 2 there is somebody named Harry, and it looks almost identical to the one above it, I realized that person was also a Harry. So number 1 and number 2 are both Harry. Specifically, number 1 we're going to be researching today is a boy by the name of Harry Fosselman. And when we were doing our preliminary research, it actually took me a long time to find him because they spelt his name wrong on the back here. Whoever wrote the names on the back of this photograph spelled his last name Fossleman, but in their actual last name is Fossselman. So that's kind of screwed me up for a little bit. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't find them in the record. Also, there are a lot of siblings in this photograph, and Harry's sister, where is she? What number is she again? There we go. Flora. Number 6, Flora Fosselman. Is also in the photograph, so she's number 6. So number 1 and number 6 here are siblings. And then you start having dreams of them asking you to solve their crimes. That's a book/movie idea right there. Hey, I'm not a great writer, so I know you do writing, Kazu, so if you want to take that, go for it. I give you full rights to do that. But yeah, so that's where we're going to be starting today with number 1 right here. Let's go ahead and make this smaller again, so that way we don't get, when I cut back to the screen at the end of the stream, we don't get jump scared. All right. So let's go ahead then and let's get started with our research. All right. All right. Oh, and also something else that I'm going to be doing, and I made some slight changes, but nothing too drastic. I also am keeping track of everything that we find in this little spreadsheet here, because there's a lot of people, and I kind of want to see just like if we can figure out some like, you know, patterns or stuff like that. And so yeah, so when we on the last stream, all these ones that have X's next to them, those are people that we were able to find, so that we know that there are historic records for them. And then we have some like just normal like kind of statistical census information. We got their birthday, birth date, father's name, mother's name. The father and mother's name is actually that wasn't actually there before I added that, because I figured that's probably also a good way to know. Also, I think that'll help me figure out through like maybe like father's names or mother's like maiden names, figuring out how some of these people might be related. Because I do remember when we were doing some of our preliminary research that there was one of these people's like mothers had their maiden name was the same as like other people on this list. So some of the people here are cousins and related in that way. And then yeah, age at the time of the photo was taken, location at the time of the photo, so where they were living, when this photo was taken, because that can change from their birthplace. And for most of them, it's probably going to be the same, but you never know. If they got married, their spouse's name, if they had any children, how many children, occupation, like what was their job or career if they had one, then their death date, their age at their time of their death, where they died, and where they're buried. And then just a little thing for any other notes. We do know, oh wait, do I still have it here? Oh yeah, I do. So I still have this here. We do know, we were able to, because at the very bottom of this list, whoever owned this photo previously was a man named Henry M. Dunn, and thank God he put where he lived on here, because it turns out this is what we needed to find all these people, because majority of them, almost all of them, are from this town, either this town specifically in Pennsylvania, or from the same county. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing. So I say let's go ahead and start. So first we're going to go with Harry. Oh, wait, it's... I always forget. Is it... Now I always get confused if it's L-E or E-L. Because they spelled it... Whoever made this spelled it wrong. Okay, so the real one is E-L. And I'm just going to put Pennsylvania. Because if I remember correctly, it took a while to find him, both because the name was spelled wrong and they weren't from the same county. They were from a different part of Pennsylvania. Let's see, Lawrence Harry Fosselman. Here we go. Okay. I think this was it. Yes. This was him. This Harry Fosselman. Because... yeah, he's 15. Yes, and his sister, Florence. Because Florence is the long name for Flora. So, okay. So, yeah, so Harry Fosselman. Hold on, if I make it... Because they're from what part of Pennsylvania? Lycoming County. If we change it specifically to Lycoming County... that'll help, like, narrow things down. Okay, there's a Harry M. Fosselman. Birth records. Hold on. Okay, let's look at this one. Revealing Harry... oh, wait, okay. Oh, this isn't... Harry F. Fosselman. Died January 23rd, 1902. 17 years, 6 months, 22 days. Wow, right off the bat. That probably explains why there aren't that many records for him. Is this him? I mean, this is spelled wrong, but... U.S. County and Church Town records. Residence date 1900. Here you go. Yeah, Fossilman, Jamie, Harry, and Florence. Died 1902. Okay. Is this the only record we have for... Do we not have an 1890 census record for them? We don't. Because, hold on. Well, what if we look at his father? Millard F. Fossilman. Okay, 1880. Okay, Flora's around. Okay, what about... Wait, Millard, Nancy, and Flora. This is Jamie. Millard Fossilman. Looking at Millard. Now that we know what was it's 21, 1859. Spouse. The name of his spouse kind of changes. Because this one says Nancy. But that one says Nancy, but in here it's Jenny. Just do state here. Just that's all Pennsylvania. Make it a little bit more broad with the last name. Dang. The one record that I really want to see, which is the 1891. Because, hold on. Because Lycoming... Where is Lycoming County? Okay, here, let me pull it up so you guys can see it. Okay, yeah, that's Williamsport. That's where it says they're from. So that's like... Oh, and that's the... Okay, and this right here, that's the town that everybody's from. This is Wyoming County over here. So they're not that far. So they would have possibly been able to make it for that birthday. Probably, maybe they took a train or something like that. Well, actually, I don't know if this... Oh, no, they do have a train track. So maybe they have a train stop. Maybe. Okay, does... So I guess for... For Harry, this is the only census record that we have for him. Is this one from 1900. The only other thing we have is this church record and this other church and town record, also from 1900. Is that all? I think that's all we have for him. There is a newspaper record, but we'll get to newspapers later. Okay, what is this? So obviously we know his father is a preacher. Florence and Harry. 1884. This is 1850. That says 1856. The other thing I said said 1589, so who knows? Yeah, clergyman. So he's 17. He's still at school. Well, yeah, well, he's 15 here, but he's going to be 17 later. Hello, Aeon. Welcome on in. Good to see you. We just started here. Unfortunately, we did discover right straight away that the person we're researching, the first person we're researching, the kid with the one above him in the picture above me, Harry Fosselman, we did discover that one of the first records we found is that apparently he died in 1902 at the age of 17. So there's not going to be that many historical records about him. The only census record we have for him is this one, because he dies 2 years later. And I don't know if... There's another thing I want to figure out. I need to figure out if Jenny is his mother. Because in this 1880 census that we found for Millard, he's married to a woman named Nancy. Also, I didn't check. Does this one say where in the town they were living on? Packer? 604 Packer? Okay, hold on. Let's see if we can find that. Packer Street, Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Huh. Okay, wait, there's a college right here. Or a school. It's now a parking lot. Okay, so, okay. I know what we're gonna have to do. we're gonna have to go check out our good old friends, the fire insurance, maps, because obviously the house doesn't exist anymore, but we can maybe find it. I wonder also what church he preached at. Because there's a church right here, but that building looks pretty modern. And there's another church up here. Okay, so... Oh yeah, Lycoming College. Okay, so that's the name of this school. Oh yeah, Lycoming College right there. Okay. Okay, so I think first thing I want to do... I'm going to pull up Find a Grave and see if we can also maybe find his grave somewhere. Okay. Harry Fosselman. I'll just say Pennsylvania, because maybe... I mean, I'm assuming he's maybe going to be buried in Williamsport, but who knows? It is EL, right? Yeah, it is. Okay, he doesn't come up. What about... Millard? His father? Okay. Reverend Millard Fosselman. Death. 31 Williamsport, Lycoming County. Okay. So he lived there, but he's buried in Columbia County, Pennsylvania. Son of John and Susan Fosselman, his first wife, Nancy. Oh, was Nancy Jane Jenny Gardner. Okay, so the Nancy that we see in the other one is the same person. Died in 1917, later married Clara R. Paul. Okay. Spouses, siblings. Okay. Wow, he had a lot of siblings. But none of his kids are listed here. None of his kids are listed there. Okay, hold on. What does this say? Okay, Williamsport. The Reverend M.F. Fosselman, retired evangelical minister, died at his home here last night at the age of 74 years. The Reverend Mr. Fosselman spent 42 years in the ministry before his retirement in 1922. He was presiding elder over the York and Lewisburg districts for 2 terms and for 4 years each, in addition to serving 3 Williamsport evangelical churches, also occupied pulpits in Nescopec, Tunghannock. That's the... Oh! That's the... That's the town. I think they just spelled it wrong, but that's the connection. That's why... That's the connection. That's why they were there. He occupied a pulpit there at one point. That's why he was... So that's how those kids ended up in the photo. Wow. Okay. That's kind of one part of the mystery solved. Yeah, his father was a minister. It doesn't say what church. It just has an it says serving 3 Williamsport evangelical churches. So we don't know which ones. Is that why the kids with his last name look sad? I mean, to be fair, everybody in this photo looks sad. That you realize how little that narrows it down? Okay. Okay, but that's for his father. And we know now that this is, or that, where is it? Is it this one? Yeah, we know that this woman, this Nancy, is actually, okay, Nancy J. Okay, so it's the same, okay, so it is all the same person. I thought for a second that, like, maybe he, like, died or something, or, like, Nancy died and that there's a possibility that, like, either Nancy or Jenny was not his mother. But it turns out they're both the same woman. Just first and middle names. Okay. Now I want to see if I can find their house. Where their house used to be. Sanborn maps. All right. Okay, so if you don't know, if you haven't seen me use these before, these are old fire insurance maps, particularly from the Sanborn Fire Insurance Company. And what these fire insurance companies would do is they would go to towns and cities and draw very, very detailed maps down to each individual structure on a street and on a block. And it's a great way to like look up like how buildings used to be laid out, if the building you're looking at was there at a certain time, what used to be in a location before something else was built. They're really great in terms of information like that. And also they also say on the map what the building was made out of, how tall it was, how big it was, how many windows it had, how many chimneys it had, what type of roof it had, and stuff like that. So it's really great if you're doing like architectural research. So we want, if I just put Williamsport, let's see. Okay, and then I'm going to make it specifically Pennsylvania. And we want one as close to the year 1900 as possible. Here we have 1912 and 1891. I think we'll have to go with the 1912 one. Okay, so this is the overall map. Where is... Okay, here we go. Here's Packer. Okay, so we want... Hold on, what? Where did it say it was? Part of... Okay, Packer and Bennett. Wait, there's Bennett and Pat. Okay, so we want 12. So yeah, so we want... This is just kind of like the key to like figure out like each number on here is like the page in this book of what part of that map is on that page. So we want page 12 or map number 12. So let's go to page 16 since we're already on page 4. See if that's right. Nope, that's page 8. So 9, 10, 11, 12. So we actually want 20. Okay. Bennett, Packer, 500. Oh! There used to be a church there. That's it. First United Evangelical Church. 604. So the church that he used to... The church that he used to work at was right here. Oh, and then it moved right... Look at that. I didn't realize this was an evangelical church. Okay, so they moved here. Hold on. Do they have... Hold on. About... Do they have anything about history? Who we are? Okay. Over 150 years ago, the gospel captured the hearts of the Plantham Church in the heart of downtown Williamsport, Pennsylvania in 1849. Over the decades, this church has rallied against conflict. Church would see, blah, blah, blah. Any info about the building? That's what I want to know. I want to know about the building. Building use. Photo archive? Or is this just like... Oh, like modern photos. Library catalog? Oh, no, this is literally a library catalog. Okay. 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 So it's also a possibility that, like, between 1890 or 1888 and 1900, that the Fossilmans were living in Tunghanok. And then they moved back to Williamsport. But that's awesome that we were able to find. So they were living in... Okay, yeah, see, D right here, that stands for dwelling. So this part of it next to it is the dwelling where they lived. Had electric lights. Heated by hot air. Different spires. That's why I love these maps. Just looking how, like, detailed they are. Like, how the shape of the building. If you wanted to know, like, if there was, like, an outbuilding behind a house, they always put them on here. Like, you can see D for dwelling. 2 is for 2 floors. This is, like, a little porch that they're representing here. I think the circles here are chimneys, I think? But yeah, I love these maps. They're so cool, and they have so much detail in them. Okay. Okay, so that's that mystery solved. Let's go to newspapers and see what we can figure out. If there's anything. I mean, he didn't live for that long, so I honestly kind of doubt. So he was born in 1884, so I'll do 1883 to 1902. And I'll just do Pennsylvania, just to see what comes up. Sort by oldest first. Okay. 1897, Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Remembered the sick. Oh, okay, wait. Remembered the sick. Harry Fosselman, son of Reverend M.F. Fosselman. So this is him. This is the right guy. Who has been very ill for the past 4 weeks, is now convulsing. On last evening, he was made the recipient of a basket of California fruit by the Sunday School Committee of the KLCE of the United Evangelical Church. The committee have certainly gladdened Harry's heart, and he wishes the committee in return to accept his sincere thanks, expressed through the columns of the Sentinel. Okay, and this is back in 1897, so he was already sick here, or like maybe he was just somebody who got he had a condition where he was sick all the time, or just got sick a lot. Look at this one from 1900. Entertained. Oh, okay. The class in the United Evangelical Sunday School taught by Mrs. J. King met on Tuesday evening at the home of their teacher in honor of Harry Fosselman, who left this morning for Williamsport. Okay. Games were played and a very pleasant time was spent. The boys and teacher are sorry to lose Harry as one of their number, but wish God's blessing on him wherever he goes. Okay, so in 1900, this is March of 1900, they're moving to Williamsport at this point. Because this school, or this newspaper, where is it from? Cumberland County. Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Where is that? In comparison to everything. Oh, that's down here. Williamsport is... Oh, there. Okay. Okay, yeah, so that's a pretty decent move. So they were living in Carlisle. So yeah, so maybe that's why we're having trouble finding them in the census records for 1890, is because they were moving around a lot because of his church work. Okay, this looks like it might be his death. Yeah. Fosselman. Harry Fosselman, son of Reverend M.T. Fosselman, a former pastor of the Evangelical Church of Carlisle, died 9 o'clock on Thursday morning in Williamsport. Interment was made at Berwick today. Okay, wait, Berwick. Is that the same place that he's buried? Yeah, Berwick. Huh. Hold on. Pine Grove Cemetery. Oh, there's so many memorials. Do they have a 82% photographed? Do they have a website? I'm just worried. I'm wondering if there's like an H, just like an HF, because sometimes they do that. Because you'd be Harry Fossilman. No. Okay. What if we just get rid of that? And we know he died in 1902. I mean, it could just be possible that either his grave has been lost. Because that does happen sometimes. Okay. All right, I see we have an ad about to start. I'm actually going to go ahead, use this, take a quick break while the ad's going. And we'll continue researching this when the ad's done. I don't want to do too much while the ads are going, so sit back and I'll see you in a little bit. I'm going to use this opportunity to actually like stand up and stretch my legs. Okay. We'll just wait for the just gonna wait for the ads to end and then we'll continue. We'll continue on. I wish it's crazy that this is the first one that we get. That the first one that we get is like literally somebody who did not live that long, unfortunately, after the photo was taken. And I know I made that joke at the beginning of like, oh, what if this photo was cursed and like all of them died like in crazy ways or in accidents or something like that or young. It's crazy that the first person we get is actually kind of like that. Because I got up, I have because of how cold it is, where I am right now, my desk is in front of a window, and there's a terrible draft that comes through it, so that when I'm sitting here, I have to have a blanket like on my legs, and I feel like an old lady in a rocking chair, because I'm sitting here with just the blanket over my leg, covering my legs and everything. All right. I think our ads are coming to an end here. So let's go ahead and let's get back to what we were doing. Okay. So yeah, so I don't think, even though we now know that he was buried in that same cemetery, either his like burial was lost, or it just hasn't been like marked yet, or hasn't been recorded yet on Find a Grave. It's making me think that it's likely his grave was lost, because I feel like if his parents are there, he would be there too. Okay. So I think all of these are probably going to be about his death. Funeral services over the remains of Harry M. Fosselman, son of Reverend M.F. Fosselman, were held Friday evening at 7:30 o'clock today. The body will be taken to Berwick for burial. Yeah, Berwick. That's the same cemetery. Let's see, what's this one? Or are these just a... Okay, hold on. He's probably somewhere in here. Harry Fosselman, son of Reverend M.T. Fosselman, a former pastor of the Evangelical Church of Carlisle, died on Thursday morning in Williamsport. Yeah, it doesn't really give us much more. Is this just the same thing? This looks like the same thing. Yeah, this is just the same thing. Miss Millie Rambler is spending the week in Williamsport with the family of Reverend M.F. Fosselman, having gone there to attend the funeral of her cousin, Harry Fosselman. Okay, so... Unfortunately, we don't know what happened. I'm assuming it was illness. Yeah. Let's see, what about... What is this? May of 1902. City Schools and Sanitation, Annual Report, Committee of Hygiene. Hold on, wait. Oh, did they put him on the school list even though he died? Oh, wait, no, this is actually specifically about his death. Out of the total enrollment of 5,200 pupils, there have been 8 deaths during the present school year, as follows. The Curtin Building. Harry Fosselman. Bright's disease. Okay, here they actually say Bright's disease. That name sounds familiar. Bright's disease. It's a kidney disease. It is characterized by the swelling and presence of albumin in the urine. It was frequently accompanied by high blood pressure and heart disease. Okay, so he had a kidney problem. Oh, okay, that's actually, this is an important, I almost was going to skip this newspaper because I thought, okay, it's just going to list him again, but the fact that they actually say what... Yeah, and everybody, okay, everybody else got some dropsy, pneumonia, shot by accident, Jesus. Pneumonia, cerebro and meningitis, Bright's disease, pneumonia, appendicitis. And that's all there is for this whole, for his entire life. Those are the only newspaper records for him. Now if I put oh wow. Oh, his father was popular. Wow, 1,100 entries in newspapers for his father. I mean, it makes sense. If he's a like a priest, he's going to be either traveling a lot and like putting ads in like papers for like services and stuff like that. So it makes sense that he would be there a lot. Now I want to, okay, actually wait, no, I want to know, where was he living in 1888? Because if he's living in Wyoming County, that would explain... Oh, hold on. Okay, so this is March. What is this? This is a list. Evangelical Conference. Last Thursday afternoon, the 49th session of the Central Pennsylvania Conference of the Evangelical Association was held in the 4th Street Church, this place. There were nearly 100 ministers in attendance. The business meetings were held during the day time, which were very interesting. Okay, on Sunday. The next conference is to be held at Williamsport on the first Thursday of March 1889. The following are the appointments for the year. Okay. There we go. Okay. That makes sense. So for 1888, he was assigned to the town that this photo was taken in. He was assigned to the photo, or to the place that we can see right here at the bottom. It's the same place. Tunkhannock, Pennsylvania. Look at that. So that's why they were there. Probably just knew the kids. Maybe they went to the church. It's possible they went to the church and that's how they knew each other. Maybe we'll find that out. Hold on, wait, is there an evangelical church? Hold on. Where is it? There it is. Uh, Bridgewater Church, United Methodist, Episcopal, Seventh Day, Methodist, Presbyterian, Lutheran, Methodist. I don't see. Um, Assembly of Church of God. Is this evangelical devotions? Oh no. Oh, about us. Uh, oh, church baptism. Okay, yeah, it's not really doesn't specifically say evangelical. It might be, but this town is not that big either. But no, this is good. This 100% confirms for us. I always keep forgetting to turn that off before. Sorry about that. It was part of the stream was blocked. At least it wasn't blocking the whole thing. I've done that before. But this is so good. This confirms that he was there. Oh, here we go. Okay. May. Does it say specifically what church? It just says evangelical. Services every Reverend M.F. Fosselman, pastor, services every Sabbath at 10:30 a.m. and 7 p.m. Yeah, it doesn't say. I guess this is a small enough town that, like, if you just say the evangelical church, you just know where that is. You just know. Are these all going to be for that, like, basically same ad? Oh, wow, they are. Yeah, these are basically all just ads for him advertising his services, which makes sense. But it does confirm that this is where he was. Okay. Actually, let me change. I want to see if there's any more. If we go to 1902, specifically January. Whoops. January 1902. Funeral services. I think these are ones we've already. Oh, here we go. This looks like different. Harry Milton, son of Reverend M. F. Fosselman, pastor of the First United Evangelical Church of Williamsport, died last Thursday morning, aged 17 years, 6 months, and 22 days. Funeral services were held in the church Friday evening at 7:30 o'clock. Reverend E. Crumbling, president elder of the Williamsport district, officiating, assisted by several United Evangelical ministers. Saturday morning, the body was taken to Berwick for internment. Death was due to Bright's disease. While in delicate health for a number of years, Harry was able to attend school until last Tuesday. He was a pupil of the Curtin Building. Possessing a kind heart, he was held in high esteem by all who knew him, but more especially by his schoolmates, with whom he was a great favorite, says the Williamsport Evening News of the 23rd. The 23rd in district? I'm not sure. Wow, this is great. Thank God we found this. Okay. This is a lot of information. I wonder what the Curtin Building. I don't know if that's like part of it. Sounds like he was there for like some like private school. Oh, that is literally a school. Curtin Intermediate School. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, this is just a text. I thought I found some. Oh well, okay, it might have some information. Hold on, okay. I found this. It's just text though. There we go. Williamsport schools through the years. Hold on. Oh, wait. It's right there. 1978, when the school was moved to the third floor of the Curtin School Building, then located at 612 Market Street. Now the site of the first EUB church. Wait, is that the Evangelical Church? Its location has been changed 5 times, and 7 principals have successfully directed its work. Curtin School Building, then located. No, it's not the. Oh wait, 612 Market Street. Where is that? Hold on. Oh, it's... yeah, now the side of the... okay, wait, hold on. If that's where it was... Curtin School... it was right there the whole time. Wow, he didn't have to travel that far to go to school. Literally just across the street. That's so funny that it was literally right there the whole time. Both his school and where he lived. On the same map. Wow. That's crazy that we found that. Okay. So yeah, it said in this obituary that like he had been in ill health. Yeah, while in delicate health for a number of years. I mean, that goes back 5 years before this. Is that first article that we found where he was sick. I wonder if I type Harry Milton. And just hold on, 1883 to 1902. I think if I just put Harry Milton, I'm just going to get all the people who are actually named Harry Milton. Yep. And that's a very common name. Very common name for the time. So no, that's not going to lead anywhere. Okay. Wow. I want to see if we can find more about his father. M. F. Fosselman. So I want to see if we can find get a picture of him. Or honestly, that might just be possible with just basic Google search. Let me try that real quick. So his name was Milton Fosselman. Evangelical Church. Oh. Hold on, what is this? This is from the nearby college. I guess this is a website they put up. Central Pennsylvania Evangelical Pastors. This list includes every known person to have been licensed or ordained by the Pennsylvania Conference of Evangelical. Oh, the surname. Okay, so wait. So if we go to F, Fake, Farley, Fenner, Flecker, Floor, Foss, Fosselman. Here we go. Oh my god, this has everything. Wow. Millard Fillmore Fosselman. Born 1858, Perry County, Pennsylvania. Died 1921. Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Got his license in 1880. Ordained 1883. So he was in the church basically his whole life. Oh yeah, look, and these are all the places he was assigned. Tunkhannock. Yeah, and look, that's when he was there. Then went to Williamsport. 1900, yeah, that's when they moved there. And yeah, he was in Carlisle. Wow, they moved a lot. Oh, this is perfect. New Haven or Lock Haven. And then I think by 1907, it seems like they just stayed in Williamsport. Okay, let me see now if I can find... I want to see if we can find a picture of that church. First, I want to see if we can find a picture... Uh... Yeah, because it was the first evangelical? Yeah. First evangelical church. I'll try 1900? Oh, okay. Is this it? Is this it? Hold on, there's this selling on eBay. ME Church, Williamsport. No, this is on Pine Street. This isn't it. This is a different... Yeah, this is a different church. And this one... That's the new building. That's this one. That's this one right here. Does it say what year this is from? Was there a thing on the back? 1938, okay. So yeah, so that's not it. Hold on. Does Williamsport have a... Let's see, okay, this is the museum. Okay, hold on. Okay, there's like a local museum. Wait, is this the right Williamsport? I'm starting to think this isn't the right Williamsport. uh... Springfield Barn. Wait, Hagerstown. I can't tell if this is the right if this is the right Williamsport or not. Hold on, Williamsport area, Williamsport History Museum. Okay, no, this is not. I don't think this is not the right Williamsport. Oh, whoops! No, I clicked out the wrong thing. Oh no! Wait, hold on. Okay, here we go. Ooh, saved it. I need to keep that open so that way I know where to. Oop, there we go. I like glitched out for a second. Wait, where did? Oh, my Google Maps tab disappeared. That was weird. Okay. Here we go. Uh, this looks like a local museum. Let's see if they have collections and research. There's include or documents, books, uh, industrial tools and implements, fun furniture and decorative items. Okay, it doesn't look like they have anything online. Yeah, it's just all in-person stuff, which makes sense. For a small museum like this, that's pretty common and understandable. I was just hoping that we could find either a picture of that church or something, but it doesn't look like we can. Okay, anyway, I want to go back here. When did he die? Wow, 1931. Lived almost 30 years after his son's death. So, okay, so hold on. Let me change this to 1931. Uh, try this one. Evangelical minister dead. I just want one of them to have like a picture of him above the. Although if there was a picture of him, I think it would have been on the Find a Grave website. Oh wow, this is all him. Okay, hold on. So let's read about this and see if it gives us any more, not just about him, but also about Harry, maybe. Evangelical minister dies. Reverend M.F. Fosselman resided in Berwick 4 years when serving as presiding elder. Will be buried here. Wow, so he lived there for. That's crazy that he would be buried there and not in Williamsport. Considering he was only here for 4 years. Okay. That Reverend M.F. Fosselman, prominent evangelical divine, passed away last evening at his home at Williamsport, was the word received this morning by Reverend E.F. Ramley, pastor of Bower Memorial Church. Reverend Mr. Fosselman was a resident of Berwick for 4 years while he served as presiding elder of the Lewisburg district of the church. His first wife and two sons are buried in the family plot in the Pine Grove Cemetery. So he had another son. Because hold on. Because he has another daughter. So there's he had two sons. So both of his sons died before him. I think his other son must have died even younger because he's not mentioned anywhere in the historical record at all. Hmm. Interment will be made in Berwick and Pine Grove following services at Bower Memorial Church on Thursday. Sorry, on Tuesday afternoon. There will be services at St. Paul's Evangelical Church, Williamsport, Thursday morning at 9:30 o'clock, and the cordage will come here. Services at Bower Memorial will be at 1:30 o'clock. District Superintendents Reverend Walter J. Dice of Williamsport District and Reverend A.F. Weaver of Lewisburg District will be in charge of the services. All right, hold on one sec. All right. Reverend Mr. Fosselman served as presiding elder of the Lewisburg District from 1915 to 1918, and during this time resided on Walnut Street, Berwick. It was during his residence here that his wife died. He later remarried, and his second wife survived, together with two married daughters. Okay, so yeah, so that's one of those is Flora, who we know is also in the photo. So we know right there that Flora lived a decent amount of time. "40 years ago, Reverend Mr. Fossil served as Nescopec Evangelical Church. He became widely known in the conference, was active in various conference societies, and served two districts as presiding elder. His first ministry was at McClure in 1881, and he served 40 years in the ministry when he retired in 1922. His appointments following McClure were Catawissa, 82 to 84, Luzerne, 1885 to 87, Tuckhannock, 1889 to 89. I think some of these are mistakes because I think it's supposed to be 1888. They just put the wrong date there. Nescopec, 1891 to 92, Milton, 93 to 96, Carlisle, 97 to 99, First Church of Williamsport, 1900 to 1903, Lockhaven, 1904 to 1906, St. John's, Williamsport, 1907 1910, presiding elder York District, 1911 1914, presiding elder Lewisburg District, 1915 1918, St. Paul's, Williamsport, 1919 1921. Reverend Mr. Fosselman returned at Williamsport and resided in his own home there until his death. He had been in poor health for several years. Okay, so wait, so if we went back to Williamsport in 1922, or even before that, where was he? I wonder if we can find that house. Fosselman, Millard. 1142 High Street? That looks like High Street. Hold on. Oh, there we go. The very opposite of town from where this... Because the church used to be... Is that the... No, that's a park. Oh, that's the... Oh, yeah, there. So that's his house. Still there. That's it. That's where he lived in 1930, the last few years of his life. I mean, I'm assuming it's going to say he's retired at this point, right? Oh, no, it still says he's a minister. Even though it says he was technically... I guess he still did maybe some volunteer stuff. He would just do a little bit every once in a while. Also, wait, I just realized, do we have anything that says specifically when... Okay, the closest thing we have for Harry, born July of 1884. I just realized we don't have anything for, like, his actual, like, birthday. We know his death day. I guess maybe we could do the math, because it's... He died on January 23rd, 1902. Aged 17 years, 6 months, and 22 days. So 17, yeah, would be 1885. So January 23rd, 1885. 6 months from January. So wait, hold on. December, November, October, September, August, July. And then 22 days before that. So July 1st? Was he born... If my math is correct, was he born July 1st then? Because this says July. It might have been July 1st? So yeah, so he would have just turned... Because yeah, because we don't have a grave record for him. Okay, yeah, actually, yeah, let's hold... Let's go ahead and actually start filling some of this stuff out. So, July... I'm gonna put in parentheses first, with a question mark. 1884. Oh, well, yeah, we don't have a birthplace. Oh, wait, hold on. We can look here. We can figure out where he was serving. 1884. Catawissa. Okay, hold on. And then how does that compare to... Yeah, that line's up here too. Catawissa. Where is Catawissa? Okay, so it's in like this part of... Yeah, that's Williamsport over there. Okay, so he was born in Catawissa. Most likely, because that's where his father was serving at the time. PA. So his father... I'll put Reverend Milton. Oh yeah, what is his full name? Oh, Millard. Sorry, not Milton. I got because Harry's middle name is Milton. So Millard F. Fosselman. Millard F. Fosselman. His mother, Nancy Jenny. Do we know her maiden name? Gardner. Gardner. Okay. So at the time of the photo, he would have been 4 years old? Yeah. And he was living in... At the time, he was living at... how do you spell it? It's a crazy name. Hold on. Where is it? There you go. Tunkhannock. Married? Nope. Because he died before he could get married. January. It was 23rd, right? Yeah, January 23rd, 1902. Okay, so January 23rd, 1902. He was 17. Oh, is this not wrapping? He died in Williamsport. He is technically, according to records, buried in Berwick. Pine Grove Cemetery, Berwick. Okay, hold on, wait. I'll put Pine Grove. Cemetery. Berwick, PA. And then after that grave not found. And then notes, I'll put died from Bright's disease. Okay. Okay, I think... So at first, when I saw that he was in Pennsylvania, or from Williamsport, Pennsylvania, I thought he was living in Williamsport when he went to, like, at the time of the photo. And I thought, dang, he had to travel far because there to Williamsport that's pretty far for, like, a birthday party trip in 1888. But turns out he wasn't living in Williamsport. He was living here at the time. So I feel like I'm starting to have a feeling that, like, it's possible that, like, all of them are going to be from, if not from Tunkhannock. I need to learn how to, like, pronounce that properly because I'm still not 100% sure. If they're not from there, they're probably going to be somewhere nearby, like one of the nearby counties. Okay. Let's see. I was hoping, yeah, oh yeah, I don't think, we never, again, I was trying to see if we could find a picture of MF Fossilman. That sounds like his rap name, like MF Doom. Let's see, is this... No. Is this? Nope. Sure. Nope. A lot of times, they sometimes do put a photo of the person. Sometimes when somebody dies, they do put a photo of them in the newspaper. Oh, this guy's death made a lot of newspapers, too. Come on. Anything? Nope. Nope. Maybe the ones that are from, like, the next day? It also is interesting how, like, you can see here how, like, there are newspaper, it's not all from, like, one place, like, where he died. It's from so many counties all over Pennsylvania, which is probably because he, worked at some point in all of those counties. Dude had a far reach. It was probably really not well known in the evangelical community. Impressive services, Evelyn Morris Experiment, Interment in Pine Grove. Yeah, this is about his actual like funeral. No. Just want a picture. Just give me a picture. And this is a few days later, and they're still talking about his death. This is after the funeral. Okay, that's about somebody who's attending the funeral. No, oh God, I can't even. Good luck reading that. Funeral services. Yeah, okay. For a second, I thought. Okay, this is November. By this point, yeah, they're not going to be. Wait. What is this one? "20 years ago." Oh, this is talking about a previous thing. Okay. What if... Hold on. Wait, hold on. Is it... It's just one L, right? No, it's double L. Millard. Wow, no, he never went by his actual, like, full name, only his initials. Yeah. This is the only... We had, like, dozens and hundreds of, like, other record... Like, or dozens of records for MF. Okay, I want to know... Okay, if that's... I want to know what happened to Nancy. Actually, can we get... Hold on, first, before we look up Nancy's death, I want to see if we can find their marriage. Wait, what the heck? Maybe... Okay, hold on, does it say when he got married? There's nothing here. I just realized, yeah, it mentions, like, none of the articles, like, really mention about his, like, wife or anything, or his daughters. It's mostly just about his service. So actually, yeah, we have... Hold on, wait. Does he have a marriage record? Here? Marriages? Is this his marriage? No, that's... wait, what is this? Application for marriage license. Statement of mail. Full surname, Millard Fillmore Fosselman. Relationship of parties making this application, if any, either by blood or marriage. No. Ministry of Gospel. Milford, Perry County. Will... Sports. Age. Age legal. I mean... Oh, this is... Oh, this is the second marriage. This is for his second marriage. John Fosselman, Susan. Okay. Yes. Previous married or married? Yes. Death of previous marriage. May 1917. When is this? Okay, March 1919. Occupation of father. Farmer. Very common. This is a marriage license for his second marriage. Do we have one for his first? Probably not. Oh, we do have his death certificate, actually. Yeah, Clara, yep, age 74 years. October 4th, 1856, retired, minister of gospel. Workplace of father, Germany. Okay, his parents were... Wait, they don't have the name of the father. Both his parents were German immigrants. Cause of death, softening of brain. Huh. Arterio, sclerosis? Hold on, what is that? Google that real quick. I'm just happy they typed it. Because that's one of the common things with death certificates, is that if they're handwritten, they're written by a doctor most of the time. And when it's like big words like this, that if you're not a doctor, you don't know them, it gets really, really like hard sometimes to read. Okay, arteriosclerosis. The thickening and hardening of the walls of the arteries, occurring typically in old age. Okay, so it contributed to that. Okay. Oh yeah, wait, I just realized we didn't... Hold on. We forgot to look up if there's anything in family search. Let me go ahead and get family search up here real quick. Okay. Let's try to find Fossilman first. Oh. There's gonna be much for him in here because it's... Let's see. Yeah, because if he didn't have any, like... Yeah, okay, hold on. Here's something. But it's... They only have one source for him. Because I don't think any of these... Yeah. Yeah, there's only one source for him, and it's the 1900 census, which is honestly, yeah, one of the few things we do have for him. But this is him, yeah. Does Millard have any more? Memories. The certificate. Okay, yeah. These are just the articles that we've already seen. These aren't even the best newspaper articles, they're better ones. Oh, they did find him in the 1870 census. What was he doing in 1870? Oh, he was only 13, so he wasn't doing much. Hold on, where is he here? Here, Millard. Fusselman. 13. Yeah, he's just 13, so... Doesn't really give us any new information there. Oh, 1880, 1900... 1919 is his... So they only had the marriage record for his... They only had the marriage record for his second marriage, not his first one. But then again, they only have... Okay, no, wait, yeah. Okay, yeah, and then here's... Oh, 2 other sons. Wow, they had 2 other sons who died in infancy. Arthur and Edwin. And Harry. So they technically had 5 kids, according to this, but they lost 2 of them. Very, very young. Just because, you know, back then you had the high infant mortality rate. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to the newspapers then, since there's not really much else here in Family Search. Let's see if we can find... when they would have gotten married. Let's just try 18... Let's just do 1870 to 1880. Because we know that they are married by 1880 because they already have their first daughter. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Perry County Democrat. Married. Fossilman Gardner. There we go. Look at that. Exactly what we were looking for. On the 21st a Newport by the Reverend A. Stapleton, Millard F. Fosselman to Nancy F. Gardner, all of Newport. Look at that. Doesn't really give much, but it proved... Okay, so we know now... Okay, so they got married in October of 1875. Is this just the same thing? This looks like it might be the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. Is he still going... But hold on, let me check. Is he going by MF at this point? Nope. But Miller, those are the only two things. Because also, their first daughter's birth isn't listed here. What if we change it to 1880 to or not 1980? That's way too many. 1885. Okay, nothing. But what if we do MF? Oh, oops. Nope, not. Need to add that space. Okay. It's more conference stuff. It looks like a lot of these are like conference things. Like that's conference. That's conference. That's conference. That's conference. Almost all of these are conference related things. Yeah, this is him doing funeral services for somebody. More service stuff, more conference stuff. I think that's what a majority, honestly, of his articles probably are. Yeah, that's the same thing. District. Nothing there. Yeah, it's all just it's all just his where he was sent. Oh, wait, what is this? Marriages. Oh, this is him marrying. So that's the other thing too. That's probably also why he has so many records, is because not only does it have all of his like conference stuff and all of his like advertisements for his services, like church services, he's also probably going to be listed in like funerals and weddings and marriages for like, you know, him officiating them or leading them. So that's why he has so many records. Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah, so we found their marriage. Now I want to see if there's anything on Nancy's passing. So that'd be 1917. we do know when in 1917? May 24th. Okay, so May. Let's go down to May. March. Wow, he was, yeah. Oh, look at, he's in so many newspapers. Okay, this looks like it. Yeah, May 25th, this is it. Bright's disease. She also died of Bright's disease. I wonder if it was hereditary. Hold on, wait, is Bright's disease hereditary? Okay, it's not, according to this, it's not like specifically hereditary, but it can be. Like in some cases caused by a slight like gene, making it more like, it's like one of those things where it's like the genes like make it more likely, but it's not like strictly hereditary. But that's, wow, so he had 2 people in his life succumb to Bright's disease. Both his son and his wife. Wife of a Janical presiding elder, victim of acute Bright's disease. Acute Bright's disease caused the death last evening at 8 o'clock of Miss M.F. Fosselman, wife of Reverend M.F. Fosselman, presiding elder of the Lewisburg district of the United Evangelical Church, at the family residence 109 Walnut Street. She had been a patient sufferer for 2 years, and for some time past her condition had become critical. Miss Jenny Fosselman was born at McClellan's Mill, Junita County, Pennsylvania, June 4th, 1857, the daughter of the late Gibson and Sarah Gardner of Newport, Perry County, Pennsylvania. She was aged 59 years, 11 months, and 20 days. Her marriage to Reverend Fosselman was solemnized at Newport, Pennsylvania in 1875, the ceremony being performed by Reverend A. Stapleton, whose death occurred recently at Williamsport. Both Mr. and Mrs. Fosselman were converted by Reverend Stapleton. Reverend Fosselman had been in the active ministry for 37 years, during which time Mrs. Fosselman was a faithful worker as well as a devoted wife and loving mother. A kind and loving Christian woman, beloved by all who knew her, the news of her death cast a pall of gloom over the community in which she resided and where she was widely known. She is survived by her husband and 2 daughters, Miss G.F. Neff of Jersey Shore and Miss Althea Fosselman at home. Okay, so this actually gives us, we now know when we get to Flora, when we will get to her eventually, she's a little bit later down the list. When we get to Flora, we will know that she marries somebody named G.F. Neff. So I guess we'll have that. This is kind of spoilers, if you think about it. This is just spoilers. She is survived by her husband and 2 daughters. 3 sons preceded her to the grave. Edwin, who died at Nesapek, Arthur, who died at Tunkhannock, and Harry, who died at Williamsport. All are buried in the family plot in Pine Grove Cemetery, Berwick. 4 brothers also survive: James, William, Henry, and Edward, all of Newport, Perry County. A brother, Thomas, died very suddenly 2 weeks ago in Newport. Funeral services will be held Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock at the family residence. The services will be private, with the ministers of the district and the near relatives invited. Reverend E.B. Bailey, pastor of Bower Memorial Church, will officiate, and Reverend W.E. Detwiller, one of the oldest and best-known members of the conference, will preach the sermon. Interment will be made in the family plot in Pine Grove Cemetery. Okay. That is crazy that she also died of Bright's disease. I'm going to make a note of that. I'm making a note of that in here. Died of Bright's disease, which also killed his mother. Okay. Let's see. That's the same article. Again, I doubt they're going to show a picture of her. Okay, yeah, this is just talking about her death. "15 ministers attend at the funeral. Very largely attended were services over body of Mrs. Fosselman. 15 ministers attended the funeral services at 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon of Mrs. Fosselman, wife of Reverend M.F. Fosselman, presiding elder of the Lewisburg district of the United Evangelical Church, whose death occurred last Thursday evening. Services were held at the family residence on Walnut Street and were very largely attended and deeply impressive. Reverend E.B. Bailey, pastor of Bower Memorial Church, had charge of the services. Assisting him were Reverend W.E. Detwiller of Danville, one of the oldest and best-known ministers in the conference who delivered the first address, and Reverend J.C. Weiser of North Berwick, who later spoke. Reverend C.W. Finkbinder of Nescopec offered the opening prayer, and Reverend H.R. Wilkes of West Berwick made the closing prayer. Reverend W.J. Dice of Bloomsburg read the hymn, Jesus is Mine, and the floral tributes were many and beautiful. Wow, so many reverends. I guess that's what happens when your husband's a minister. So you make a lot of minister friends. And they were all pallbearers, too. Interment was in the family plot in Pine Grove Cemetery. The ministers attending the services, in addition to those mentioned, were... Oh, this is even more ministers. Jesus. Others from a distance attending the funeral were J.C. Winter and family, Mrs. William Wilt Newport, Miss Merrill Lick Harrisburg, Mr. and Mrs. James Gardner, Mr. and Mrs. Edward Gardner, and William Gardner Newport. Because those are her brothers. This is another thing talking about yeah, this is kind of the same thing. Oh, wait, okay, this gives us a little bit okay, Mrs. Fosselman died of acute Bright's disease Thursday of last week at 8 p.m., having been ill for 3 years. She was the daughter of the late Gibson and Sarah Gardner, and of this place and born Reed's Gap. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, this one just has a lot of the same information. Okay, so we found... We found all those things. I don't think there's anything else here we need to add. I think we got everything. Okay. Yeah, and you know what? I know this is a little bit early than what we normally do, but I think today I'm gonna call it here. Because we pretty much got everything. Because unfortunately, yeah, he died young, so there's not really much else about him. We found a bunch of really good stuff about his family, though, and why his family was in Tanakh at the time of the photo, and why he would be in there. So yeah, I think, I mean, we found, like I said, I mean, we found it very quickly. I just wish, you know, unfortunately, Harry didn't really live long enough to create that big of a historical record. Because I think for him specific, not counting newspapers, we have these 3 records and that's it for him. Not counting the newspapers, we only have these 3 records for him. Just one census record, one church record telling us of his death, and one church record when they were living at Lycombe, or in Williamsport. But hey, at least now we know. We did find a lot of interesting stuff about his father, since he was a minister and he did travel. He moved around a lot. I mean, if he moved, hold on, wait, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 different places over the course of his career, of a 30-year career. Or no, longer than 30-year career. 40-year career. What am I saying? It's a 40-year career. He basically moved somewhere every like 2-3 years. That must have been honestly probably hard on their kids to constantly be moving to new places all the time. But yeah, all right. So let's go ahead then and let's head back to our office. All right. So yeah, that's gonna do it for today, folks. What a start. Honestly, not the high note I was expecting to start on, considering, you know, what happened, but we got one down, 23 to go. 1 down and 23 to go. So we'll see who we can find next. So next is going to be number 2, which is going to be next stream. Number 2 there, who, according to this, is Harry Lewis. So different Harry. We're going to be researching a different Harry. This will be on Sunday. We're going to be researching a different Harry, and seeing what we can find with him. All right, but yeah, let's see. Let me make this. Get this out of here and make this big. So yeah, so that's gonna do it for today, folks. Thank you guys so much for being here. I don't know if I'm gonna be streaming on Saturday. I might, but I'm not 100% sure. I do know, though, that this weekend I am going to be making another YouTube short as kind of like a teaser for what we're doing right now. Yeah, so that's going to do it for today. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're new here, I'm not a professor, but you can call me Nap. I do these types of streams every Wednesday and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but sometimes we do guerrilla streams on weekends, and so make sure you follow so that way you know when I go live next. Also, link down below is also my YouTube channel if you want to check that out. As I mentioned, I do make YouTube shorts on some of the stuff that we find here. The one I recently did was actually doing really well. So let's go ahead and call it there. All right. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day or night wherever you are. And I'll see you guys on Sunday for sure. Maybe this Saturday. Who knows? And try to stay warm. I know it's cold out there. At least it is near me. It's cold out there, so stay warm, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.